working late.
Aren't you?
Zane wants to know if you'd like some tea, coffee, whatever it is you drink.
That's thoughtful of him.
I used to say the same thing. How thoughtful. Thank you, Saint. Except I never looked up. Not once. My eyes were on my fingers stained with ink. The smudges on the margins of my work. I cared more about my findings than the tea cooling beside me. Or the feelings of the man who made it. You're not listening.
I am listening.
Then listen well. Your work will outlive you. The people around you might not. One day you're going to wake up, assuming you've even slept at all, and realize that the world is a very different place than the last time you remembered to look at it. You will abruptly, viscerally regret the absence of something as small as a single cup of tea. So I ask you again, what would you like to drink?
Oolong. With a spot of honey.
A spot of honey. Why am I not surprised?
But she doesn't listen. I try to get through to her, show her the logical consequences of her choices. Then she digs her heels in, and the more I push, the harder she pushes back, even when she knows she's wrong.
Siblings,
Sorry. I shouldn't have thrown all that on you.
How long have we known each other, Elsie?
It's hard to really say. With how many times we've been down this road, it feels like forever. But I think years. Years.
And in all that time, I've only known you as a dedicated sister. Anna's known you for far less. You remember your childhood, the bonds you formed, the trust you built together. She doesn't have that. Anna can't understand the depth of your love or the guilt you carry for your missteps. All she knows is what's in front of her, and that kills you, little by little. You gaze at her and a ghost gazes back, a ghost you desperately want to save.
That's the point, isn't it?
You have to let people choose for themselves, or you risk driving them down an even darker path than the one you want to steer them from. And we both know how that ends. Don't we? My brother used to regale our people's children with the most fantastic stories. Twin kestrels who shared one heart and led a flock of birds against an unstoppable storm. A dragon born into the palm of a maiden's hand, but one day grew so large that it devoured the entire world. He spun tales about the Elixni, too. Weavers who transformed into wolves. Dancers who became devils.
You're baiting me. It won't work. I've seen what your influence does. Mizrax thinks he can make peace with the last city. His daughter tells stories like your Aldrin.
And the world is better for them. Aren't you tired, Aramis? I am.
Now you're wasting my time.
All people like you and I have is time. I spend mine thinking about everything I've lost, and what I'd give to get it back. You wonder the same.
Do not presume to know my mind.
You named your house Salvation, like something straight out of Aldrin stories. Ido's stories. We both want the best for the future. But we've pretended to be people we're not for so long that we've forgotten what else we are. Not just a queen. Not just a Kell. A sister. A mother. Aramis? Are you there?
Wake up. I have questions.
An odd greeting. I was not sleeping. What does Osiris require of Rasputin?
You've been keeping secrets. I thought I was clear the last time we spoke. The time to choose a side has long since passed.
I destroyed the Almighty and attacked the Black Fleet. My allegiance is unwavering.
Then prove it. There was a city on Neptune, near the time of the collapse. Find it for me.
Querying. I retain no such information, but lingering references suggest I did at one time.
That can't be all there is. Humanity's hope dangles from their frayed recollection. Tell me where to look! Anything!
Felwinter's data casts you in an old light, Osiris. All these years and you're still the brash man on the mountaintop, impatient as ever.
And I see in lieu of any useful information, you found that haughty tone of yours.
We have a shared history. I only attempt to offer guidance, as your mentor did.
Felwinter's memory doesn't absolve you of his murder, nor does it permit you to teach his lessons.
I do not make that claim. Forgive me. I am finding myself again. During the Dark Age, Felwinter would say, hope persists.
Should we have the patience to keep it? Yes. Keep me informed of any developments.
Think of each Vex hobgoblin like a starship. The crew works together to pilot it, but it doesn't mean the crew all share one mind.
Or the same ideals. This aligns with observations I've made in the Infinite Forest, where aberrant Vex were quarantined and destroyed. Aberrant in that they moved against a consensus. Aberrant in ideology. The Vex may seem unified, but they're divided into a number of factions.
Just like us.
Tell me, as someone who has traveled time in a circle, are our divisions so clear in every cycle of history?
No. Nothing is ever clear, no matter how many times history repeats itself. Choice is always the knife we fall on. Our own choices, each and every time, seem to be what dooms us.
Always?
Not always, but too often. We fracture, we fail, and the wheel turns again.
We, constrained to linear time, do not have the ability to learn from our future mistakes. You, however, not to put the burden of all this on you, but it feels as though the Traveler has a plan for you. We just can't see it yet.
It could make the plan a little clearer.
Do you feel you've learned enough? Collectively, over your journey to prevent our end? Or will we be having this conversation again someday?
I don't know. We've never had this conversation before, so I suppose there's a first time for everything.
Ikora was so bright, so full of promise. How she glowed. Like the light filled her. But it was her eyes that convinced me to take her as my apprentice.
What did you see in them?
Hunger. She was desperate to prove herself back then. I knew the feeling well.
And you know it again now.
When Ikora looks in my eyes, what do you think she sees?
Everything that she always has.
She pities me, Mara.
As you and I have pitied others. Those who hang on our every word. Your cultists, my people. Do not mistake Ikora's pity for disdain. If she pities you, it is out of love.
I have no love for the cult of Osiris.
No. Ask me what I see when I look into your eyes, Osiris.
I will not, but you'll tell me just the same.
I see a man who is afraid he'll never be able to live up to the expectations that other people have placed on him. A man so afraid to hurt or be hurt that he's spent his very long, very accomplished life holding those same people at arm's length. This burden, this inheritance of guilt, it is Ikora's too.
I never wanted this for her.
as your mentors never wanted it for you.
RAS, engage Turing mode, conversational.
Old habits, hmm?
Sorry. I'm so used to you being more machine, more directive-driven, and less...
Human.
I wish this had come for you at a better time.
I know. I can grant you this one analytical certainty. There is never a better time. There is only in time or too late.
You're right. Like always.
I suppose that brings us to another point. I am not always right. I have done things in the name of preserving the human species that are abominable. They were the mathematically correct choice, but they were not the right one. My new exomind pathways have given me an opportunity to review a lifetime of decisions, to weigh them against emotional and moral conceits that I was not, in the moment, capable of comprehending. Others have called me a tyrant.
They're wrong.
They are not. You have given me the ability to objectively see my own value, but also the ways in which my value has imposed a negative sum to the collective well-being of humanity. It is the sum of an equation I am still trying to balance. But that does not mean your work has been in vain. You gave me choice and free will, and I did with it what I thought was right. That is the sum of your life's work. I see now, at the time of our final calculus, the value in that. The value in emotion, in caring, in how humans make both logical and illogical conclusions from the same points of data, and why both are valuable.
Thank you, Red.
No matter what comes in the future, I will always cherish the life you have given me.